Today, I'll evaluate whether Elon Musk is an effective leader using theories and concepts from people and organization. Musk leads companies including Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and X, formerly Twitter. His influence across labor, markets, technology, and innovation makes him one of the most significant contemporary business leaders. My argument is that Musk is an exceptionally effective visionary and transformational leader in driving innovation and organizational performance. However, the same personality traits and leadership behaviors that contribute to his success also create organizational instability, ethical controversies, and employee well-being concerns. To evaluate this argument, I'll apply trade theory, McGregor's X and Y theory, behavioral and motivational approaches, transformational leadership theory, and ethical decision-making frameworks from people and organizations. Between 2025 and 2026, Musk oversaw major organizational restructuring across multiple companies. This included significant layoffs at Tesla and at X, alongside rapid operational changes that generated criticism regarding workplace culture, employee well-being, and organizational instability, according to Reuters 2025. At the same time, SpaceX continued major advances in reusable rockets and Starlink expansion, reinforcing Musk's reputation for innovation and strategic disruption. This contrast between extraordinary innovation and organizational disruption makes Musk an ideal leadership case study. According to the lecture notes, organizational effectiveness is not only measured through productivity or profitability, but also through ethical responsibility, employee well-being, and sustainable organizational practices. This raises an important question. Can a leader still be considered highly effective if innovation is achieved through intense pressure and organizational instability? Trade theory argues that stable personality characteristics influence leadership behavior and effectiveness. Also, strongly demonstrates high openness to experience for creativity, visionary thinking, and willingness to take risks. Our week one lecture notes identify openness as strongly associated with innovation and adaptability, which aligns Musk in entrepreneurial success. He also demonstrates high extroversion, particularly dominance and assertiveness. Judge Berner at Lilly's and Jihad found that extroversion is the strongest predictor of leadership emergence and perceived effectiveness. However, Musk appears comparatively low in agreeableness. The lecture notes associate low agreeableness with interpersonal conflict and lower organizational harmony. This is reflecting confrontational communication style and public criticism of employees on X. His emotional stability also appears inconsistent. Public online outbursts and impulsive communication suggest volatility, which organizational behavior research links to workplace stress and burnout. Importantly, these traits appear interconnected with Musk's leadership style. His dominance and low agreeableness may partly explain his management approach aligns more closely with authoritarian and Fury X assumptions. He also demonstrates several characteristics of transformational leadership. Bass 1990 argues transformational leaders inspire followers through vision, charisma, and organizational change. Musk focused on electric vehicles and space exploration demonstrates strong visionary leadership. However, transformational leadership also requires individualized consideration and attention to employee well-being. Musk's confrontational management style may weaken this dimension of transformational leadership. McGregor's Fury X assumes employees dislike work and require close supervision and control, while Fury Y assumes employees are self-motivated and capable of self-direction. Musk's leadership style aligns far more closely with Fury X assumptions. Examples include extremely demanding work expectations, strict performance pressure, public criticism of employees, and highly centralized decision-making. The lecture notes describe Fury X managers as authoritarian and control-oriented, which strongly reflects management practices at Tesla and at X. This leadership style may increase urgency and short-term efficiency, particularly in industries where innovation speed is critical. However, excessive managerial control can reduce psychological safety, trust, and intrinsic motivation over time. Edmondson 1990 argues that psychological safety is essential for learning, collaboration, and sustainable innovation. Most confrontational managements may discourage employees from openly contributing ideas or taking interpersonal risks. Supporters argue Musk's demanding leadership style contributes to breakthrough innovation by creating highly accountable and performance expectation. However, this style may also create burnout and fear-based organizational cultures. Behavioral approaches focus on how leadership influences motivation, workplace relationships, and group dynamics. The Hawthorne study is conducted by Mayer in 1933, demonstrated that employees' attention, recognition, and social interaction positively influence productivity. Similarly, Maslow's 1943 argued that belonging, esteem, and self-actualization are important motivational drivers. However, many of Musk's organizational practices appear inconsistent with these behavioral principles. Large-scale layoffs, intense performance pressure, and public criticism may undermine employees' sense of security, belonging, and esteem. Our lecture notes emphasize that employees seek both economic rewards and meaningful social relationships with organizations. Although Musk culture may motivate highly ambitious employees seeking achievement and innovation, it may also reduce morale and increase burnout. Leadership effectiveness also differs across stakeholders. While some employees may experience reduced well-being and psychological safety, investors may perceive Musk's leadership as highly effective due to innovation outcomes and market performance. So, is Elon Musk an effective leader? Musk does demonstrate how leadership effectiveness is multidimensional and often contradictory in modern organizations. He's clearly effective in innovation, strategic vision, and industry disruption. His leadership demonstrates transformational characteristics, high openness, and strong entrepreneurial direction that have reshaped multiple global industries. However, leadership effectiveness should not only be measured solely by technological success or financial performance. Yuki argues that effective leadership must balance organizational performance with employee well-being, ethical responsibility, and long-term sustainability. Musk's low agreeableness, authoritarian leadership tendencies, and ethical inconsistencies creates organizational risk involving employee well-being, morale, trust, and organizational culture. Ultimately, Musk demonstrates that the same traits and behaviors that enable visionary innovation may simultaneously generate ethical conflict, organizational instability, and reduce psychological safety. This highlights a broader challenge with modern organizations: how to balance disruptive innovation with ethical, sustainable. Throughout the semester, I received feedback that arguments needed clearer topic sentences and there needed to be stronger integration of theory with evidence and deeper critical analysis rather than simple description. I applied this feedback by structuring each of my sections of my presentation around a specific management theory and then linking it directly to my contemporary example of Elon Musk. Instead of only describing events, I focused on evaluating both the strengths and weaknesses of his leadership style, using evidence from academic sources and media examples and the course notes. This process helped me understand that persuasive arguments are not only about presenting the information, they require interpretation, critical evaluation, and clear links between the theory and real world evidence. Overall, the feedback improved both the structure of my argument and my ability to critically analyze leadership and organizational behavior.